Hello folks, Brother Jim reporting here at End Times Prophecy News. Democrats have turned their party over to the group that intends to destroy the USA. Intersectional Brotherhood Week, there's a word for this in Yiddish, chutzpah. There's also a word for it in Arabic, taqiyya. The capitulation of the Democrat transient majority, thanks Paul Ryan to a minority of 3 radical females, Omar, Tlaib, and AOC, is a weather vane indicting the direction from Democrat wind is blowing. I'm in concordance with my friend and colleague Roger Simon in his assessment of the political situation. The instant capitulation of Pelosi and the rapid rewriting of resolution meant to deplore anti-Semitism, that is Jew hatred, into generic condemnation of all forms of bigotry tells you who has the power now. It's not Pelosi and her sidekick, Steny Hoyer, but the young Turkettes. In the hierarchy of the crackpot leftist intersectionality, it's now clear that Muslims trump blacks. Leftist intersectionality. It's now clear that Muslims trump blacks, black trumps woman, female trumps male, and all the above trump white males, especially Christian males, and everybody hates the Jews. See who's on the bottom there? White males. Yours truly. Intersectional Brotherhood Week. In just a few short months, the Muslima from Mogadishu, who somehow represents the 5th Congressional District in a Minnesota Staten, has made her stance perfectly clear. She hates Jews with the insouciant, casual fervor of a true Muslim. She hates the country of America as founded, and like her compatriots on the increasingly Marxist left, would like to see it repealed and replaced with something else now. For now, she is in an alliance of convenience with the politicians formerly known as, quote, liberals. But when the geriatric leadership in the form of Meroz Priza, whose brother, Rusi, by the way, was once arrested for statutory rape and somehow skated, his father was the mayor of Baltimore at the time, attempted to rein in Ilhan Omar over her anti-Semitic tweeting, enough Democrats, including the Congressional Black Caucus, refused to support Pelosi's boilerplate resolution against Jew hatred that it morphed into a generic resolution against hate of all kinds, including Islamophobia. There's a word for this in Yiddish, chutzpah. There's also a word for it in the Arabic, taqiyya. They're not quite cognates, of course. Chutzpah translates best as gall or cheekiness, and the Arab word means something more akin to religiously sanctioned lying to advance the cause of Mohammedanism. And in any case, it's worth remembering that Arabic is the official language of Islam everywhere, something that ought to offend proud, humiliatingly conquered cultures like the Persians, who have sacrificed their real faith, Zoroastrianism, and their language of worship to their Arab overlords. Whoever has been organizing the Iranian resistance against the mullahs, and their day will come, ought to appeal to Iranian history and patriotism and demand the overthrow of the Arab influence on Persian culture. So, Omar, in the wake of her conquest of Madama's, Pelosi's Democrat majority in the House, she has turned once again to taqiyya in the face of a police corps reporter's impertinent question, Obama who? On Friday, controversial Democratic Congressman woman Ilhan Omar blamed the media for distorting her remarks about former President Barack Obama. Exhibit A, how reporters distort words. I'm an Obama fan. I was saying how President Trump is different from Obama and why we should focus on policy, not politics, she tweeted. Earlier today, Politico reported Omar said this, as she saw the party ostensibly committed to progressive values had become complicit in perpetuating the status quo. Omar says the hope and change offered by Barack Obama was a mirage, recalling the caging of kids at the U.S.-Mexico border and the droning of countries around the world on Obama's watch. She argues that the Democratic presidential operated within the same fundamentally broken framework as his Republican successor. Maybe she's been drinking too much blood, or maybe she's got kuru at an early age, sort of like Hildebeest. We can't be only upset with Trump. His policies are bad, but many of the people who came before him also had really bad policies. They just were more polished than he was, Omar says, and I already reported this. And that's not what we should be looking for anymore. We don't want anybody to get away with murder because they are polished. We want to recognize the actual policies that are behind the pretty face and the smile. Obama is pretty? Gotta be kidding me. The content of Omar's SoundCloud clip does not vary dramatically from Politico's reporting. How about that? Some commentators have come out in defense of Politico. If one of my reporters filed a story and then I heard Ilhan's tape, I would say that had quite accurately described and contextualized her position, Nate Silver, the editor-in-chief of 538, wrote. The capitulation of the Democrat transient majority, thanks Paul Ryan, to a minority of 3 radical females, Omar, Tlaib, and AOC, is a weather vane indicting the direction of the direction the Democrat wind is blowing. I am in concordance with my friend and colleague Roger Simon in his assessment of the political situation. Now, I already read that, so let's move on down here, because they're reiterating that. The difference now is that we no longer have a National Brotherhood Week in which to strut our hypocrisy. Rather, we have a cold civil war, as I first termed it almost a decade ago, gradually turning hotter, with those who wish to preserve the essentially nature of America versus those who have imbibed the lessons of Marxist Frankfurt School and historian Howard Zinn and view the country as so fundamentally flawed as to be irredeemable and therefore must be destroyed by the very people it has purportedly sinned against. The presence of Omar and the others in the House of Representatives is indicative of where the Democrat Party is heading. As Buster Scruggs says in the new Coen Brothers movie, well, that ain't good. We will finish with God's precious word. We go to chapter 4 of Zechariah 4. And the angel that talked with me came again and waked me, as a man that is wakened out of his sleep, and said unto me, What seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it. And this is known as the Jewish, I forgot the name of it. But you know what I'm talking about. It has 7 candlesticks and then a bowl in the middle. I think it starts with an M, but I'm terrible with names. But okay. And with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps, which are upon the top thereof. Now again, this is the same thing that's mentioned in Revelation 1 that is in Jesus' hand. We see here, again, it says, a candlestick all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon. Now, check out, in Revelation 4, we see that. It says there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God. Okay? But here, again, in Revelation 1, it says about what is in Jesus' hands. And he had in his right hand the 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword. And then in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, like one on the Son of the Man. Okay, so here it says, I turned to see the voice that spake with me. Being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. Okay? So you see the 7 stars and the 7 golden candlesticks. But then when they get into heaven, these 7 golden candlesticks are 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne. All right. The 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side thereof. These 2 olive trees are Moses and Elijah, the two witnesses. That's what the two olive trees stand for. They are the signification or foundation of the tree of salvation coming out of Israel. Moses, the law, and Elijah, a major prophet. The prophets and the law. And Jesus said in Luke 16, the law and the prophets were until John the Baptist. You see, the foundation of the tree of salvation started out of Israel, the Jews. But the law and the prophets ended at John the Baptist. You see? That's not to say we throw the law and the prophets down. What it meant was the law and the prophets were until John means now the new foundation of the church age starts with the 12 apostles. Okay? You got to understand what Jesus said in Luke 16:16. The law and the prophets were until John, since now we press into preaching the kingdom of God, something like that. Okay? It doesn't mean that we throw the law and the prophets away. It means now we have a new dispensation. That foundation has been laid, as Paul says, for the church. And I believe that's in Ephesians 3. I'm not sure. I forgot. Yeah, I think it's in Ephesians 2 or chapter 3. So, you see, so we don't throw away the law and the prophets. It's just a foundation. Now we build upon it through the cornerstone of Jesus Christ. Thank you for listening. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very important announcement. Would you like to see most of your illnesses go away? Let me introduce you to the Water Smacker. A new modern breakthrough in science has come to knowledge, ridding your body of many toxins through this state-of-the-art new technology. The testimonials are endless. People have been healed of shingles, pancreas survivor healed, colon cancer patient healed. Your skin returns its oil back to itself and elasticity. Gray hair goes away. Look younger. Red blood cells return to being round. Plaque in your arteries is wiped out. Blood pressure is lowered. Feel stronger and have more energy. Return to a more youthful feeling and look. Pick up your Water Smacker today for only $350, and don't forget to mention Brother Jim sent you. The link is down below, along with a website and other videos for a much longer description. Thank you.